The Guinness World Record for the most children born to one mother goes to Valentina Veselev, the wife of a Russian peasant who allegedly gave birth to 69 babies. No, she didn't. I've seen this claim and variations on it doing the rounds for years and years and being retweeted and reposted and re-TikToked endlessly. And I've had all I can take and I can't take no more with it. So I'm going to arm you with the facts. And the next time you see somebody posting this, talking about this, you can leap in armed with knowledge and completely dismantle it. All right, there is one little bit of it that's true. That this quite incredible claim is indeed in the Guinness World Book of Records, but it is to be handled with extreme caution. Even this entry actually says that. So the story goes that in Russia, between 1725 and 1765, one woman gave birth to a grand total of 69 children by giving birth to 16 twins, 7 triplets, and 4 sets of quads. And the very first thing that I want to dispel about this story is this. This woman, can we just leave her out of this, please? She hasn't done anything at all to be involved in this. This is a completely anonymous older woman photographed in the 19th century at some point. This cannot possibly be Mrs. Vesselyev because she died in 1765. Come on, let's all use our common sense. Cameras were not a thing. The other thing that we need to kick into the sea pretty quick is that her name was Valentina. There is no record at all of her having a first name. She is only in the records as wife of Theodore Vesselyev. She's never given a first name. I don't know where Valentina comes from, but it wasn't that, and this lady is not her. Now, one of the biggest clues that this story is dubious to say the least is there are no primary records to corroborate it. There's no birth records. There is nothing actually saying what this family's from. All that we've got is people talking about it. So you've got stories about it and stories about stories, but you don't have any you don't have a smoking gun, or in this case, a smoking vagina. So the first time we hear this story is in this 1783 edition of the Gentleman's Magazine. And this is a letters section from readers, and they're discussing twins, basically. The person who wrote this letter is anonymous, but they open theirs with, in an original letter now before me, dated St. Petersburg, August 13th, 1982, one Theodore Vesselyev, aged 75, a peasant said to be now alive in perfect health, in the government of Moscow, had his first wife. And then it gives you all of the stats and the numbers. So the source for this is an anonymous writer writing into a magazine to tell you that he has got a letter by somebody else who is writing to somebody else that we don't know. Come on. And then he finishes off his letter with like, oh, I know it's astonishing, but you can absolutely depend on me. This came from an English merchant in St. Petersburg who was writing to his relation in England. So it's not exactly watertight evidence, is it? The other bit of information that is a huge red flag that this probably isn't true is the detail that of the 69 babies, only 2 have died. No. Until very recently, with the advent of antibiotics and modern medicine, you were looking at an infant mortality rate of about 50%. And these are multiple births. Triplets, twins, quads. Anyone who's had multiple births will tell you how dangerous that actually is. That it has to be done in hospital, very often with a C-section, and this was a Russian peasant woman in the 18th century. But even if all of these children survived, is it even possible to give birth 69 times? Periods start on average around about 15, and menopause hits on average around about 51. Fertility rates fluctuate wildly in between that, but it would be theoretically possible to get pregnant every single year that you are fertile. 69 is a hell of a lot, and more than anything else I've ever read before. Mind you, there are some insanely huge family sizes throughout history that would make your eyes water. Elizabeth Mott of Warwickshire in England got married in 1676, and she gave birth 42 times. 42. Mary and John Jonas lived in Cheshire in England in the late 19th century, and they had 33 children. But the person who probably should hold the world record for the most children ever birthed to one person is a Ugandan woman called Miriam Nabatanzi Babiri, and she's still alive to this day. Miriam Nabatanzi has given birth to 44 children. She was forced into marriage when she was barely a child herself and has a condition called hyperovulation, which means that she is unbelievably fertile. So instead of reading made-up stuff about Mrs. Vesselyev, go and read the very real story of Miriam Nabatanzi.